What's up, y'all? This is Elliot coming at you with a Man Up Minute segment of Rideshare Daily. And I'm on my lunch break. Decided to do a quick video for y'all. I just got back from my son's school and we had lunch together. It's something that I am intentional about doing at least once a week. As a rideshare driver, I have time freedom. I have flexibility in my schedule to be able to do what I want when I want. Take care of things that I need to take care of. I don't have to ask anybody's permission. I don't have to get anybody's approval or get anybody to sign off on it. I have to be diligent and discipline myself to manage my time wisely. But one of the benefits, I would say the greatest benefit of being a rideshare driver, is time freedom. So because I have time freedom, I'm intentional about going and having lunch with my son at least once a week at his school. Sometimes I do it 2 or 3 times a week. Sometimes instead of having lunch with him at the school, I'll pull him out of school and we'll just have a daddy-son afternoon or evening, and I'll just take him somewhere, like take him to Chuck E. Cheese or take him to the mall or take him to Barnes and Nobles to read books, or take him to the library, or take him to the park to play, or whatever the case is. It's something that I'm intentional about doing. I do it at least once a week because I love my son and I want to spend time with my son and I want to invest in my son. If you're a father out there, you will never ever lose investing in your children. At the end of your life, you will never ever say, I wish I wouldn't have spent so much time with my kids. You will never say that. You will never say, I wish I wouldn't have taken that lunch break to go have lunch with my son or my daughter. You'll never say that. And your kids value your time more than you can imagine, because even if we don't have like a deep conversation during lunch, just sitting there sharing a meal together, I brought him a chocolate chip cookie to add to the meal that he already had, and just playing around, messing around, joking, laughing, having fun, making him eat his food, eat his pasta and his corn and his bread and drink his juice and everything before he could have the cookie. For my son, he's 3 years old, about to be 4 years old. That means everything. That means the world to him. But also for me, that means everything to me. That's the most joy that I have today. That's the highlight, one of the highlights of my week, is the time that I get to spend with my son at his school having lunch. But I can't help but think about it while I'm there. The thought comes to mind, why am I the only dad at my son's school that's doing this? Not that I'm the only good father, not that there aren't other fathers that are taking care of their responsibilities and love their kids and care for their kids and do awesome things with their kids and have fun with their kids. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying I know I'm not the only one with time flexibility in my schedule in the middle of the day. I know I'm not the only one that has the ability to break away for my lunch break and go have lunch with my son. But I'm the only one that does at his school, and I can tell you from being a teacher for many years in the past that I've never had dads come to school to have lunch with their kids unless it was a special event, unless there was some sort of invitation sent out by teachers or by staff or by administration, asking the dads to come. And I don't know why that is. I don't know why that is. I know when I was a little kid, my dad was like the coolest person on the planet to me when I was real young. And I think, my son probably sees it the same way. He's both a daddy's boy and a mommy's boy. He's like definitely clings to his mom in a lot of ways, but at the same time, he loves his dad. He loves to spend time with me, and I love to spend time with him. And I just want to say, if you're a father out there, I don't care what your profession is, what your career is, what your occupation is, what your work is. If you have time and you can do it, why don't you? You're never gonna regret spending that time with your kids. I mean, your kids are your future. Your kids are your your successors. Your kids are tomorrow's leaders. Your kids are the greatest treasure that you have if you're a parent. Why not invest more time in them? Maybe you own a business and you're watching this, or maybe you are a realtor or a broker or a lawyer or a judge, or maybe you're a school administrator or a teacher yourself, or maybe you're a rideshare driver like me, or some other profession where you have the flexibility in your schedule to be able to break away at least once a month, at least once every other week, maybe once a week, maybe multiple times a week. So I'm just saying, because I know for a fact I'm the only father at my son's school showing up and doing this. And I'm not doing it to be seen by other people. I'm doing it to spend time with my son. I'm not doing it to make myself feel good. I'm doing it, I want my son to feel good. And I'm not doing it, even this video, I'm not talking about it to give myself a pat on the back or to tell you like I'm the best dad out there. I'm just saying this world would be a better place if we had more fathers who were more active, more engaged, more present in their children's lives. Even breaking the norms. It's not the norm for a dad to take his lunch break, go to his child's school, pull his child out of the normal lunch to go have lunch with him. That's not the norm, but I don't care, because my son loves it and I love it. And the other kids see it. They think it's cool. I'm sure I've probably done this 20 or 30 times this school year so far. I'm sure some of the other kids are probably thinking like, man, I wish my dad would do that. And why don't they? If you don't have that time flexibility in your schedule, I understand what it's like being locked into a job. I understand what it's like being locked into a location. I understand what it's like being locked into a time schedule that doesn't allow for that. But I'm talking to the ones that don't have those constraints. Why don't you? I mean, maybe you just never thought about it, right? Maybe it just never crossed your mind. Maybe you're an Uber driver or a Lyft driver. It just never dawned on you like, man, I could go have lunch with my daughter at school. I could go have lunch with my son. I could go pull them out in the afternoon, take a 2 or 3 hour break, and take them to go have fun. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. And there's a saying I heard a preacher say one time, long time ago, about our generation. And I'll never forget it, because it's absolutely true. And it's something that I say to people all the time. Right now in this generation, we got a lot of teachers. We got a lot of preachers. We don't have a lot of fathers. We don't have nearly enough fathers. Present, active, loving, caring, handling business, investing in their kids. If we did, this world would change real quick. So I just want to encourage people. I'm not saying this to big up myself or to make me look good or to make you think anything about me. I really could care less what you think about me. I'm saying this as a challenge to all you fathers out there. Even if it's just once a month, even if it's once a quarter, even if it's twice a year, make time for your kids. Do something creative, something out of the box, something out of the norm, something that nobody's expecting you to do, something that nobody is asking you to do, something that nobody is thinking that you're gonna do, and just do it. To spend time with your kids, to invest in them, to have conversations with them, to eat with them, to share a meal with them, take them to the beach, take them to the store, take them to the park, take them, wherever, or sit right there with them and their friends in their classroom or their lunch table and just spend time with them. Just be there. It's a very, very small gesture, and it takes very minimal effort. It didn't take me a whole lot of time or effort for me to go grab a Subway sandwich and bring it to my son's school and sit down with him and set up a table and some chairs outside his classroom. While his classmates ate lunch inside, he got to come outside and have lunch with Daddy. That didn't take a whole lot of effort. That didn't take a whole lot of creativity or thought. All it took was me just wanting to spend that time with my son and knowing that my son would love it. So it's something that I do regularly, but the more I do it and the more teachers walk by us and they see and they comment and they say different things, the more I'm like, I know there's other fathers that could be doing this, that should be doing this, that ain't doing this, and I don't know why. So let me just say, I'm not hating on anybody. I'm not disrespecting anybody. I'm encouraging you. I'm exhorting you. I'm admonishing you. I'm declaring to you, you can do it. You should do it. Go do it. Spend more time with your kids. Again, you don't have to be there every week like me. You don't have to be there multiple times a week. Just make a point to do what you can, what your schedule allows. It would change your child's life and your relationship with your child and their perspective on a lot of things. And beyond that, impact this world and change, the community that you live in. So maybe I'll start a campaign or a trend. Daddies have lunch with daughters. Daddies have lunch with sons. I don't know. I'm not really into the organization of doing stuff like that, because you could get fathers to show up to a men's breakfast for something, deep, 800 deep. But what about when nobody sends you an invitation? What about when nobody suggests it? What about when nobody expects it? What about when your child isn't thinking that you're going to do anything because there's not a special event planned? What about just going on your own initiative and making it a priority to you to spend time with your child or with your children? To me, that's how you change the world. And I love it. The reason why I'm doing this video is the favorite thing. It's the favorite part of my week. It's the favorite part of my day. And that's not the only thing that I do each week. That's not the only time I set apart to spend time with my son. But it's one of the highlights of my week every week. Going to my son's school and having lunch with him. So, man up, dad up, father up, be a father, be the greatest man you could be the best man you could be. Sometimes it doesn't take a whole lot of time and effort, it just takes the little things, a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, more than you're giving now. Again, this is something I'm able to do today because I made the decision to not be locked down to a job that I had previously, and to have the time flexibility and the time freedom to be a rideshare driver. So to me, that's priceless. It goes beyond dollars and cents. It goes beyond income and revenue. It goes beyond profits. It goes beyond any of that kind of stuff. Because when I was locked down to a job and I couldn't do this, I wanted to do this. I really wanted to, but I couldn't because I was obligated to my position, to my location, to my schedule, to my employer in such a way that I couldn't do it. The reality is I could. I just had to make a decision to break away from those things to make my son a greater priority. Because at the end of the day, at the end of my life, like, had I not done that, had I stayed locked into that location, that position, that employer, that schedule, for them or for anybody else's expectations of me, and not been able to go to my son's school and have lunch with him, man, that's something I would regret. I will never regret going and doing it. I would never regret having lunch with him. I would never regret doing that. But if I didn't do it, that is something I would regret. And it's a missed opportunity I could never, ever get back. You can always make more money. But time lost is gone forever. You can't get it back.